And go ahead, Angie, whenever you're ready.
Awesome. What's up, Small Business Spot Bank? I am Anne Marie Osgood. I am here with my husband, Steve Roman, and Champ Baginski from Breakthrough Sports.
Woo!
A little background about this group. In the wake of COVID, my husband, Steve, and I were seeing so many businesses struggling, and we said, well, we can't let that happen. We got to do something, right? So Small Business Spotlight Burbank was formed. First of all, I got to give a shout out to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Dodgers.
LA.
It is sports day here. So just a little intro about Champ and his partner, Steve Hodge, who is not here today, but Breakthrough Sports brings their award-winning youth sports camps, leagues, clinics, and trainings throughout Southern California. So that's all I'm gonna just introduce you with, and then we're gonna go from there. So Champ, how you doing today?
Amazing. I'm so happy to be on with you guys. I follow the page. You guys are doing amazing work there. So thank you to both of you guys.
Oh, of course.
We're so happy to have you, man. Happy to have you on the show. It's great. Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm so excited about this because I grew up as a kid playing sports and being outside, and with COVID going on and like this world, we're kind of like shut down in this weird space or whatever. More than ever, the kids need an outlet, and you guys are providing that for them. Before we jump into all that, Champ, tell us just a little bit about you, your background, how you got into this, why you're into sports. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So I grew up in Overland Park, Kansas, a suburb of Kansas City. And I was one of those kids where the day I could walk was the day that my parents gave me a ball. And I knew right away I wanted to work in sports. I knew that most likely I didn't have the size, the speed, anything like that to play pro sports, but I also knew that I wanted to work in it. At school, I would do book reports on it. My entire focus was on sports. So when I got to high school, I did a sports marketing internship with a local company. From there, it led me to a stint with the Chiefs in sales. I got lucky enough to move out to the great state of California. Worked for the San Jose Sharks in PR.
Wow.
Then I worked for the Anaheim Ducks for 13 years, developing their youth hockey department. We created a high school hockey league. We created learn to plays, middle school roller hockey league, you name it, we did it. From there, I went to my passion, which is basketball. I worked for the LA Clippers for a few years, developed a basketball platform. And as that, I got to go out and partner with cities, get to know cities. Absolutely loved it. But I'm an Orange County guy, and driving to Staples Center with 2 kids under the age of 4 didn't fly with my wife whatsoever, as you guys can imagine. So from there, I took my head coach, Coach Steve Hodge, and our curriculum, and we started Breakthrough Sports, and the rest is kind of history.
That's incredible. So you guys are not just, you know, from your background and his background, you didn't just throw this together. This is years of your training and your background brought together. So I'm curious, where did Breakthrough Sports come from?
So,
and how did you guys get the idea?
So that's a great question. So about a year into, well, it's funny. Steve always brings up this story. He, when I came in, I think there were several people in the Clippers organization that wanted the job. So instantaneously, he wanted to hate me. He wanted to hate me. But he's one of the first guys I've ever met in my entire life who was proactive, picked up the phone, called me and said, hey, listen, you don't know me. I don't know you. I was the lead coach for the Clippers youth basketball program. I want to talk to you and let's figure out what we can do. In one meeting, it was a marathon meeting. It was probably 4.5 hours long. We realized how similar we are. We're basically the same age. He's from the East Coast. I'm from the Midwest. And all our ideas just synced. We really wanted to make an impact on the community. And so we set out to do it. About a year in, we realized that, listen, there are pros and cons of working in professional sports. It's obviously great working for a team. You get to interact with a lot of kids. But on the flip side, a lot of it is ticket sales. And that's just how pro sports, there's nothing wrong with it, but pro sports teams need to sell tickets. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to focus more on several things, including boosting confidence with the kids, really kind of teaching them the basics of the game and making it fun. So we felt like we could do that more outside of pro sports. Therefore, we started Breakthrough Sports. And like I said, what's funny is our initial goal, our 3-year goal, was to have one city on board and teach one sport, basketball. Well, we are 2 years into it. We have got 7 sports. We've got hip hop dance. We've got intro to music, writing and music producing. And we have 14 partner cities. So we have spread like probably bad terminology right now, spread like wildfires. But yeah, it's been amazing. And I'm so happy that we made that choice.
So let me ask you this: as you grow and scale the business, and you know, to different cities and stuff like that, because I imagine this is going to grow beyond the 14 cities you're in now. How do you find the right people to teach the kids?
Great question. I'm so glad. This is by far the most difficult question, and I get into arguments with my own family because I work 7 days a week, and they're like, "Well, you know, you run the business with Steve. Just go hire people." Well, we can hire anybody, but just because you can hire people doesn't mean you're hiring the right people.
Right.
So we are looking for people with high energy that can really connect with the kids. That's what it's all about is being able to build a relationship with the kids. And our big thing is we teach not only the how, but the why. Because there's so often in sports, coach says, "Hey, little Johnny, little Susie, go dribble to the right." But they don't explain why we do it. So that's kind of where we come into play. And the other thing about us is we purposely don't work with AAU kids, travel kids, kind of your top-notch kids. Nothing wrong with that world at all. We just find it a little bit more rewarding and enjoyable to work with your average Joe, your rec kids. You know, they really, really, really enjoy the sports. And like we said earlier, there's so many things that come along with sports that are vital, whether it be the physical health components of it or the mental, which I think mental is even more important, especially in this day and age. So yeah, that's kind of where it stems from.
So I want you to talk a bit more about the mental aspect of sports. Yeah. You know, Steve and I were both athletic most of our lives. I was a dancer my whole life since I ended up doing it as a career, and it was my savior, right? It was when things were going bad at home, I could just go into the dance studio and, you know, it was fed my soul, right? And, you know, we found you guys because our daughter was certainly struggling with her mental. She's a single child. So yeah, talk a little bit about that, because parents are, I think, struggling with being nervous about their kids' safety, right? Going out into the world and doing sports and kids sweating and being next to each other, but also their mental capacity. So talk a little bit about that.
You just know that we hear this time and time again from parents that, hey, listen, these last 7 months of COVID have been the most straining, taxing, not only on us, but more importantly, our kids. They have no outlet mentally. There's nobody to talk to. They haven't been able to go outside and communicate and, you know, socialize with kids. And they miss that sports aspect of not only the socialization, but the competitiveness, right? So when COVID struck, about 2 months in, we sat down with the city of Burbank, and we are so fortunate to have a partnership with those guys. They are cutting edge, leading the way in Southern California, and thanks to their entire team. But we sat down and we said, listen, we've got to give kids an outlet. We got to do it in a safe way. Obviously, we're in a pandemic, but we got to give them an outlet. And we constantly talk to parents that as important as the physical components of sports are, the mental is that much more important. You guys have seen the numbers, you've heard the numbers, depression and all of those type of things that have skyrocketed because of COVID. If we can help just one kid, it makes it all worth it. And even outside of COVID, we always talk to the kids about several things. Not only are sports going to help you in just that setting, but they help you in parenthood. When you become a parent, there's things you take away from sports that make you better at that. In your career, in school, all these things are mental aspects that you take away from sports that make you a better person. So, like I said, wrapping it all up, as important as it is to physically get the kids out there running around, burning calories, it's more important mentally. Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I mean, the depression, the onset of that with the kids today, with what's going on in the world and everything, it's really difficult to be stuck inside all day. They need to get outside and run around. And you guys are providing a great service. You know, you sort of touched on this, Champ. So, you know, there's so many programs out there and available, and more coming online now that we're, you know, kind of like coming out of the fog of this. Maybe we're going into the deep state. I don't know with, you know, what's going to happen in the winter, but the reality of it is there's a lot of programs out there. How do you differentiate yourself? I know you said you talked about the how and the why. What else is Breakthrough doing to really, you know, just make yourself, separate yourself from the pack, so to speak?
Absolutely. You know, we talk about, Steve and I talk about this in depth. There is no secret sauce, no special sauce to sports. What it is being able to connect with the kids. That is literally number one. If you build a relationship with the kids, you can go as far as you want. So, you know, that's step one. Step two is bringing the energy. So Steve and I always tell this story to our staff. When we were with the Clippers, so the Clippers have an open concept workspace. So everybody's in the middle. All the upper management is in glass doors surrounding them, right? One of the meeting rooms has glass doors. There was an afternoon where Steve and I built a program called Little Hoopers for 3 to 7-year-olds. And we always tell our staff, we have to get in character mode. We're not this person at home, but when you're dealing with a 3-year-old, it's much different than when I'm dealing with adults or older kids. So we're on our hands and knees, barking like coyotes, growling like grizzly bears, doing all these stuff. And you've got 110 Clipper staff members looking at us like, what in the world is going on in there? But honestly, it's things like that, is being able to be fun and build relationships. And again, I go back to this, but this is so important because it just is never done anymore, is other vendors are great at teaching me how. Everyone can teach a kid how to throw a baseball or dribble a basketball or shoot a basketball, but why? Why do we do these things? Why is it important to use our finger pads when we're dribbling, keep our elbow in when we're shooting, use our hips when we're swinging a baseball bat? Things like that I think really separate us. And finally, I think we build trust with the parents too. I think the parents realize that while this is a business, it's more than that. It's about really helping our communities out and seeing these kids flourish. That is our goal. And if we're doing that, we're doing our jobs.
Wonderful.
That is incredible. I think so. My takeaways, couple takeaways from that is one, you guys are all in. You guys are all in, and you're not phoning it in. And you know, here's the thing: you can't fake good instruction, right? Like kids, they're so honest. They're gonna read right through that. So that is incredible. And I watched the little Channel 9 blurb that they did on you guys, and Steve said, you know, when COVID hit, he's like, mourning. We went through mourning. I'm not gonna lie. And then I watched how you guys, it really showed how you guys completely pivoted, right? Yeah. And in this time, it's those people and those businesses that will, you know, I think save for the future. You guys looked at the problem, you said, okay, this is what we have to do, which is incredible. So speak to the, also going back to speaking to the parents who are feeling scared and nervous to get their kids out there with everything that you've just talked about. What are your safety, what are your safety protocols that you've?
Great question. And going back, like I said, it was probably 2 months into COVID. I'll be completely honest with you. The first 2 months, Coach Steve and I sat around and looked at each other like, how are we going to survive? And instead of feeling sorry for ourselves, we decided, hey, let's make a difference. Let's call up Burbank. We know they want sports programming. Let's have them work with LA County. Let's figure out what protocols we can put in place to ensure safety. That's our number one goal, is to ensure safety. We'll figure out the fun element on the other side, but let's ensure safety. So things from coaches wearing masks, temperature checked every day, the kids wearing masks, the kids temperature checked, the kids bringing their own equipment at this time of day. We hand sanitize consistently, no touch check-in, just a few things like that. And that's just a few of the laundry list of things we do. Again, social distancing, that's a big thing. So one of the easiest things, but most forgotten, is our coaches get there about half an hour early. We tape off the court, the field, cone off, so everybody's a minimum of 6 feet away. And obviously in this day and age, you can't scrimmage, you can't have contact drills, but it's the vendors that can get out and get creative to cause competition, create competition, that are going to be successful. And I think parents, at first were like, I just don't know. We don't want to be the guinea pig. We don't want to try it first. But as they saw videos starting to roll in, and as they heard from other parents, hey, this is safe and fun, you've got to try it, we're starting to expand. I think at this point, we're working with something like 300 kids a month in Burbank, which is astronomical, way more than we ever expected, and we could not be more excited. And to that point, I mean, obviously we've had 0 cases of COVID, no concerns or anything like that. And again, safety is at the utmost importance. We stress that safe in a fun manner.
So it can be done, is what you're telling us. You can go out there and you can have a contactless sports adventure with kids and be safe while you're doing it. I love it.
Exactly. And just to go along with those, there are, a small segment of parents out there that think that sports have to be gameplay, which is is simply not true. There's a million things we can do. We can work on fundamentals. We can still get competitive constantly. We've got games called Air, Land, and Sea, Coach Champ Says, Zombie Game. There's a million games that you can socially distance effectively, but still create that competition to help the mental aspect with kids as well.
Creativity is so important, Champ, and you guys are doing it. The most important thing, let's just get back to the fundamentals. These kids need to move. They need to be outside and they need to be moving. And that's what we're doing with them, right? That's what you guys are doing with them. And at the same time, you're making it fun and you're rewriting the book here because, the drills and stuff can be competitive. It doesn't have to be a one-on-one, whatever. It doesn't have to be, touchy-feely. It has to be just moving. So great job. How can we support you? You guys seem to be doing fantastic. You guys are pivoting all over the place with COVID. How does the community support you moving forward?
Absolutely. So several ways. One, we have a whole platform of winter classes. We have baseball, flag football, basketball, an after-school program, swimming. We do all of those in the city of Burbank. You can find out about all of them on burbankparks.com. So just sign up for the program. Try, even if you want to try a program out for free. We always would rather a parent try something out, see if it's for them. And if it's not, that's okay too. But we are pretty confident in that if we let them try it out, they will want to sign up. So that's one. Another way is we'd love for people to follow us. We have Instagram and Facebook pages. It's just Breakthrough Sports LLC. And then this one is a little bit more broader in stroke. If there's anybody out there listening that is a business owner, we would love to find a sponsor for one reason and one reason only. We've got a lot of kids that right now, because of COVID, simply can't afford programming. And we fully get it. Being a new company, it's hard for us to allow, every kid that comes in asking for a scholarship free programming. We do our best. But if this is how is interesting, we'd love to try to take on a sponsor. We can put them up on our website, on shirts, you name it, but really to set up scholarships for kids that maybe are underserved or mom or dad have been out of work because of COVID. We don't want anybody to not be able to do these programs.
Absolutely.
That is incredible, Champ. We're going to work on trying to find you guys some sponsors. Before we go, I just want you to talk briefly, because this is how we discovered you and how we first, if there are parents listening, he is true to his word. They let us try it once for free. And there was nothing like our daughter coming home after, the first couple months from school being so depressed, because these kids are literally go from a screen, then they want to go right to a screen again, because it is a way that they connect with their friends. And for us, it is non-negotiable for her to get outside and move her body once a day. That's like non-negotiable. Then she can have the extra screen time. But just talk briefly about Adventure Academy, because I think that program is incredible. And what's great is you offer it after school, which is...
So this is one of the things when COVID struck that we kind of pivoted to. So we knew that even though COVID was, rampant, parents still had to work, right? Somehow you got to make money for the family. And that doesn't just mean go to the office. A lot of parents were working from home, but as you guys know, and anybody with kids knows, when you have kids at home, it is almost impossible to get anything done, right? So we wanted to create an after school program that was different than every other after school program out there, whether it's the Y or Big Brother, Big Sisters. A lot of times, and there's nothing wrong with this, those programs have, high school, college age kids running the program. And they're very generic, right? So what we did is we came up with the Adventure Academy, which we've got seasoned pros running. So the first hour is sports. Every day we switch it up, whether it be basketball, fundamentals, one day soccer, kickball, you name it, we play it. The second hour is my favorite. It is arts, but not just the drawing arts that you think of. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we've got our music producer. His name is Karan Cole. He actually lives out in Atlanta. He is a Grammy-winning producer. He wrote several songs for Justin Bieber, Jesse McCartney. Everybody that's under the age of 15 would know these people. I unfortunately don't, but he is probably the most fun, energetic human being. I literally laugh every Tuesday and Thursday because you got 20 kids just bobbing their head, throwing their hands up, going crazy, dancing. It's so much fun. And then the third element is probably even the most important. It's SEL. So SEL is kind of a buzzword in the community or in the schools these days. And it's all about socialization in a correct way. So we do things like we teach kids how to debate. Like, for instance, we'll say, who's got better French fries, In-N-Out or McDonald's? And we'll teach them the ins and outs. So after, somebody goes, the second person, well, I disagree with that, because it's all about the facts of why. We teach them about careers, blue collar jobs. What is a blue collar job? Why is it so vital to our country? Things like that. And it really has kind of made an impact. The other thing is, even in COVID days, we'll have them play out, act out events and how they could have been handled better and how we can work on if we're feeling a certain way, type of things like that. So it's a little bit different than what most people are used to. But our numbers for that program have been so much better than we ever could have expected. We've got consistent families every single week, and it's one of the things that I'm most proud about that Breakthrough Sports has done, and really, really excited about it. We plan on continuing it, not just the rest of the COVID days, but next year we plan on hopefully working with the city to go into actual schools as well. So.
What a great pivot and what a great thing for the future for our kids, man. I think that the Adventure Academy is awesome, and incorporating the art and everything else that you guys are doing is just amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, parents, the value, just listen to the value that they are offering with, all those programs being cut at school. Please check out Adventure Academy, Breakthrough Sports. They offer so many incredible programs. Champ, any other last words you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, one thing that I totally forgot to talk about, but one of our big things with our programs is we wanted all of our programs to be flexible with parents. So what I mean by that is we have something called the Training Academy, where you're not locked into going every single week if it doesn't work with your schedule. You can choose one time a month, 2 times a month, unlimited month with the Adventure Academy. You can go 1 time a week, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, unlimited. And that every week it starts up again. So you're not locked into, like down here in Orange County, my daughter goes to the YMCA where we have to have her in 5 days a week. We wanted to be more flexible, especially in this day and age where, not everybody has the same budget coming in or money coming in because of work situations. So we want to be extremely flexible. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is you can find all of the information on all of our programs on our website. Really easy to remember. It's just breakthroughsports.org. So breakthroughsports.org.
All right, everyone, you heard it. Go to their website, check them out, sign up. You will not regret it. Champ, thank you so much for everything that you are doing for our community, our kids, and you are changing our kids' lives. So thank you to you and Steve, and we look forward to seeing where you're going to go.
Champ, keep on making a difference, brother. I really appreciate you and your partner, man. Keep on making a difference.
Thank you guys so much. You guys have no idea how much you are impacting the city as well of Burbank. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, have a great day, man. Let's get active. All right.
All right. Take care.
Guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.